afternoon. Welcome back to Channel 6. I'm Anchorman Yue Chen, and this is Wave News. Well, the frequency of extreme events happens over and over again in the world. We couldn't help but think, is this just a coincidence? Or does it have anything to do with carbon dioxide? I actually invited a very professional scientist to talk about it with us today. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Trista.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Trista. And Yue, thank you for having me here today.
Good to see you here today.
We'll discuss about how serious carbon emission is, and that also links to the SDGs goal number 12 and 13. And why do we have to drink coffee without guilt? Let's find out later.
Sounds good to me. So first thing first, we're going to look at carbon emission. So according to estimate, there will be at least 400 tons of carbon emission being produced by the end of 2021. And then, according to the research, 5,800 tons of carbon emission will cause the Earth's temperature to go up by at least 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now, Trista, according to your experience, how do you think this is affecting us?
Well, that affects almost everything. For example, like the ice melting, coral reef degradation, and even 14% of the world population will suffer from heat waves.
So a lot of creatures will be affected. Now, because the question is very severe, actually, a month ago, United Nations, they had a meeting. Leaders from different countries, they have decided to spend at least $1.75 trillion on climate change. And also, 90 countries will have to cut methane. Last but not least, forest protections are definitely needed. Now, because it's obviously a global issue that everybody has to deal with, would you say Taiwan is included?
Of course, in Taiwan, we're facing the problem of water shortage. And if the situation just keeps going, we may have up to 150 days of summer every year. So that extremely high temperature will start to occur in many different places in Taiwan.
Obviously, nobody would like to see that happen, right? So we have to do something immediately to stop this. But the question now is, what's the connection between drinking coffee and reducing carbon dioxide?
Well, as we know, the top 3 high-emission foods are mostly meat and dairy products, but I guess you know who comes the 4th.
No way, is it coffee?
Exactly. In order to produce 1 kilogram of coffee beans, 17 times of the emission will be generated. And not to mention about the transportation like flight and marine. So that added up to 550 grams of emissions with every large size of coffee we buy.
Well, I mean, 550 might not sound like a big number, but you gotta know, there are more than 1 billion people who are drinking coffee every single day just to stay productive. But now you're telling everybody drinking coffee is bad for the environment. What do you think we can do then?
Well, we don't really have to quit drinking coffee. We just have to choose and buy more wisely.
So it's all about our action. So actually, when it comes to selling coffee, there are 3 different categories that you need to be looking at. So they are producing, marketing, and purchasing. Trista, why don't you start with producing?
I'd love to. There's a company called Nescafe that invented a new kind of coffee bean tree for Robusta. And with the same resources, like land and fertilizer, they can produce 50% more coffee beans than usual. And that means during the process, 30% of the carbon emission will be cut down.
Now, that sounds just like a magic, right? And when it comes to marketing-wise, I would like to talk about Starbucks. So the cups that they're using now are actually very eco-friendly. They are made out of soybeans. So they have run test after test, and they find out that their cups can actually reduce 80% of the waste. And the second thing is that now they're renting cups to customers who don't have one.
Wow, that sounds a great idea to me, but how exactly does it work?
Let me tell you how it works. So after you finish your coffee, you don't have to bring the cup back to Starbucks. So Starbucks, they have stations everywhere. So you can just put it back to one of the stations that's closest to you, and that station will bring it back to Starbucks for you, which is super convenient. Unfortunately, that's something that we don't have here in Taiwan. So obviously that's something Starbucks here in Taiwan are trying to focus on.
Well, I think there's one more thing that we should all focus on.
One more, which is?
The coffee grounds.
Oh yeah, because people always see that as trash.
But they're actually England, they're already trying to produce gas out of coffee grounds.
And wow, that's something new. Because what I know is that a lot of companies are getting coffee grounds from Starbucks, and they're making clothes and shoes out of the coffee grounds. We are just trying to make sure we make full use of it.
So now let's get to the key points. What can we do?
Yeah, what can we do as individuals? So it's about urgency-wise. Now, have you guys watched Spider-Man? Peter Parker once said, whatever comes our way, we always have a choice. Our choice is so important that can affect the people around us. And then that way we can make a bigger change in the long term. So I think we definitely should start to look at our daily decisions.
Yeah, if you want to buy a cup of coffee, easily just bring your own cups or choose the one that contains no milk. And the most important is
drink local.
Exactly. And we actually brought some coffee beans from Taiwan here, and would you just kindly open it up and smell it? This one, big one, is from Taichung, and the blue one is from Yunlin, and the white one is from Jiayi.
Really? Be sure to open it and smell them, because
yeah, and I think just as good as the one that you used to drink, or even better.
They are really great. I can smell them from here, seriously. So on top of that, they are just more eco-friendly because they are local.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Now let's move on. So how exactly do we affect the people around us? So we think we can hold a tasting event here in our campus, and we can invite a lot of different teachers and students to come to our event. So we can just let them try a lot of different coffees from Taiwan. By doing that, we can let them know how serious climate change is, and also tell them how those coffee beans can protect Taiwan and the world.
Great, let's keep moving. For the society, we can cooperate with the coffee bean farmers here in Taiwan to hold an exhibition or like a market. Just sell the coffee beans directly to the customers and raise the popularity of their farm to let more Taiwanese know that we produce great coffee beans. And for that, we can achieve no packaging, no delivery, and no waste.
I really like the idea of selling directly, no extra garbage. So let's look at the difference. Originally, it's 550. Now we can actually cut it down to 249. Because like I said, coffee, a lot of people are drinking it. But now we can definitely drink it without guilt. So with that, I would say everything that we do, we have to start from the small things in order to make a bigger change. So we would not change the world unless we start with ourselves first.
And I will say, buy local starts with you and starts right now. If you're interested in Taiwanese coffee beans, the QR code will have the information you need. Thank you.
This is our references. Thank you guys for coming today. Be sure to watch Wave News again on Channel 6 next time. Thank you.